Hello, hello! Welcome to the DragonCon Filk music track. Some of our pre-show shenanigans this week actually will have Rhiannon's Lark.
Hello. Hello, DragonCon people. And maybe some of you who are exploring DragonCon for the first time because you don't have to drive there. It's good to be here with you tonight, and I thought I would kick off with what I call my gateway song because it's about one of the gateway games into the world of gaming, Settlers of Catan. I started out with a plan to build a monopoly. I've got the best numbers, they're sure to be rolled, and soon I'll have all I need. I left very little to luck. I prefer to rely on strategy. 2 roads away and a settlement, and the sheep port's all for me. But I've been double-crossed, hung out to dry. Stolen my sheep port, though you have no sheep, I am left to cry. I've got sheep for wood, I've got sheep for wheat, I've got sheep for anything, I've got sheep for wood, I've got sheep for wood, I've got sheep for stone. I'd even take that brick from you, I've got sheep for wood. I don't understand. Was it just for spite? Now you're in just as much of a bind as I. We're both out of luck. Can't turn back time. You're the proud owner of an empty port. I am left to cry. I've got sheep for wood. I've got sheep for wheat. I've got sheep for anything. I've got sheep for wood. I've got sheep for wood. I've got sheep for stone. I'd even take that brick from you. I've got sheep for wood. I'm a third of the way to a development card. That's a long, long way from winning. I just can't find a good way out. I've got sheep for wood. I'll trade you 2 for 1. All right, 5 for 3. I've got sheep for wood. I've got sheep for wood. I've got sheep for stone. I'd even take that brick from you. I've got sheep for wood. I've got sheep for wood. I've got sheep for wheat. I've got sheep for anything. I've got sheep for wood. I've got sheep for anything. I've got sheep for wood. All right, so I'm going to do a song that I don't get to do enough. Do we have any Avatar, The Last Airbender fans out there? The cartoon series, not the movie, which I've been warned off of and haven't actually even seen myself. But we've gone through the original series with Aang a couple of times and the Korra series once. And one of the characters that really stuck in my head was Appa, the flying sky bison. So if you are not familiar with Avatar, you can picture this giant white furry bison with 6 legs, and he just soars through the sky. And he has tan arrows and markings on him. He's adorable. I have an Appa hat that I'm not wearing right now because it's about 85 degrees in the house, and you're lucky that I'm wearing a t-shirt. So this is called Variations on an Appa, and it goes through some of the different drama that Appa lives through in the series. Yip, yip, Appa, yip, yip. It's going to be a long way, yip, yip. From the South Pole to the air temples and the Earth Kingdom, and then to the Fire Nation and do it all again. 5 bison calves circle their mother over temples in the sky. This is the day you'll meet your companion for life. The little Aang holds out an apple as the tiny giant descends. We'll always be together, my friend. Yip, yip, Appa, yip, yip. It's going to be a long way, yip, yip. From the South Pole to the air temples and the Earth Kingdom, and then to the Fire Nation and do it all again. Now the Shearshu has sniffed them out and the battle's engaged. June applies a whip freely and Appa's enraged. Aang battles Zuko as Appa keeps Nile at bay. You won't capture the Avatar today. Yip, yip, Appa, yip, yip. It's going to be a long way, yip, yip. From the South Pole to the air temples and the Earth Kingdom, and then to the Fire Nation and do it all again. Aang's cries ring out across the lonely dunes as the sandbender sold Appa into servitude. Through flames, fear, and fury, he struggles to get free. So close to home, he's captured by the Daily. Yip, yip, Appa, yip, yip. It's going to be a long way, yip, yip. From the South Pole to the air temples and the Earth Kingdom, and then to the Fire Nation and do it all again. Back together, earth, air, and water make a powerful band. When Zuko comes to add fire, they're reluctant to take his hand. But a giant lick from Appa will make them all think twice. A sky bison's tongue is always right. Yip, yip, Appa, yip, yip. It's going to be a long way, yip, yip. From the South Pole to the air temples and the Earth Kingdom, and then to the Fire Nation and do it all again. To the Fire Nation and do it all again. All right, for those of you who know my music, if you have a particular request, I will attempt to accommodate it. I make no guarantees. I know at least one person who's watching right now who's gonna like this next one, even though they've probably already heard it today. But this is a song about my very first time playing D&D back in high school. And the GM at the time was a friend of mine, and about 20 years after that, we started dating, and he's my husband now. Sometimes still GM as well. But one of the NPCs in our game was a donkey named Job, and he is now barded. So I'm going to tell you the epic tale of a donkey named Job, and you might recognize the epic melody underlying this one. The legend lives on, though the years past are long, since my very first time campaigning. A party of 4, we were ready for war, though 3 of us had 0 training. My character's build was a strange mix of skills. She could move silently and cast glamours. I'd never have bet that her strongest asset was her penchant for making great armor. A pack mule we sought for the gear we had bought, and we soon found one that was quite hardy. Then in my spare time I mastered a design of a lizard scale mail for the donkey. Oh, it's Job the armored donkey. It's Job the armored donkey. Our first mission in, there's a river to swim, and we fret over whether Job will sink. His light lizard mail lets him ford it quite well, but he brays as he reaches the far bank. He's seen a bright flash from the depths, and we dash back into the river to search it. We come up with gold and treasure unforetold. Job's keen eye has made this trip worth it. Oh, we're rich thanks to Job the donkey. Oh, it's Job the armored donkey. It's not long at all till we're caught in a squall, and we have to make camp in the open. We awake in the night, 50 orcs we must fight, and Job's hobble we see has been broken. The orcs come en masse, 10 to each one of us. Their arrows will take us life and limb. Job gallops the line, catching each one in time, and their bolts just shatter against him. Oh, we're alive thanks to Job the donkey. Oh, it's Job the armored donkey. My friends, you can laugh. I too thought it a gaff. I mean, who makes a donkey wear scale mail? Yet time and again, he's been more than a friend. Our adventure son's job would surely fail. He's saved all our lives about 34 times and made us obscenely wealthy. We're famed across the land thanks to him and our band, and we count him as one of the family. Oh, it's Job the armored donkey. Oh, it's Job the armored donkey. So one of the nice things about doing shows from my home studio here in Troy, New York, is that I don't have to make choices about, well, which instruments might I want to bring with me and which little stuffies and things that I want to show off based on the songs do I want to bother to cart with me. And now it's just like, oh, I should show you that. And so I just got to get up and go grab it from around the room. But I try to have everything within arm's reach. But if it's not a big deal. Thanks, Thomas. You getting your fill of Job today? So the next one that I'm going to do for you is a song about Game of Thrones. So anyone who has started reading the books and hasn't gotten very far yet, if you're concerned about spoilers, you might want to step out for this next song. But it is about the books, not about the TV show. I know that some people have gotten disillusioned by the show. But this is one of my favorite characters, Miss Arya Stark, and the very interesting relationship that she has with death. And this song is called Not Today. A life for a life, a debt that must be paid. The stranger claims his due. A life for a life, a choice that must be made. The time is right for you. Not today, not today. I won't kneel, I won't pray, I won't learn the name of death today. Not today, not today. I will hunt, I will slay, and you'll take my place with death today. With no care for honor, he stole away my father. He whispered at my ear. Whetted by the slaughter, he came then for my mother, and thought to make me fear. Not today, not today. I won't kneel, I won't pray, I won't learn the name of death today. Not today, not today. I will hunt, I will slay, and you'll take my place with death today. A new face I will bind, though the enemy is blind, to keep my name from chance. Trials, loss, and time, my assassin skills refined, I step up to the dance. Not today, not today. I won't kneel, I won't pray, I won't learn the name of death today. Not today, not today. I will hunt, I will slay, and you'll take my place with death today. A life for a life, a debt that must be paid. The stranger claims his due. A life for a life, a choice that must be made. The time is ripe for you. Not today, not today. I won't kneel, I won't pray, I won't learn the name of death today. Not today, not today. I will hunt, I will slay, and you'll take my place with death today. And you'll take my place with death today. All right. So thank you to everyone who is sharing part of their evening with me and the DragonCon Filk track. Thank you to Amber and everyone else who is helping make virtual DragonCon happen, and for doing all the lead-up promotion and just exposing you guys to everything that you might have experienced before on the Filk track in person and perhaps not. The first time that I performed at DragonCon was 2 years ago. And then last year, I ended up being asked to do a friend's wedding in Cleveland over Labor Day weekend. So I was in Ohio instead of Atlanta over Labor Day weekend last year. And then obviously this year, I will not be in Atlanta for DragonCon. I won't be in Indiana for Gen Con. I won't be, et cetera, et cetera. You know how it goes. But it's nice that virtually at least we can do these things to connect as best we can. Let's see. I'm going to lighten it back up here with another song about a board game. Other than Settlers of Catan, I always feel like my board game songs are a little more niche. So certainly some people will have played them, but I tend not to pick the games that are the most popular. But games that I have an experience with that speaks to me, that says there's a lesson here or something that I want to pass on in the form of a song. So this next one is about the game XWing, which is the XWing miniatures based on the Star Wars universe. And you can play the Rebel faction, you can play the Imperials, or you can play Scum and Villainy in some of the newer sets. And you're basically flying the ships around and taking out everybody else's ships. So this was an interesting experience for me, and I'm going to relate the true tale of what happened when I started to play X-Wing. It sounds vaguely like a Russian folk song. Go figure. I'll admit that the first time I played, I had to be dragged into it. Spatial reasoning isn't my forte, and I hate every time I lose a ship. 3 weeks in, I braved it several times. I'm winning, but I'm still stressed out. Is it luck or skill controlling my dial? One wrong move, my best ship is down. That's when the campaign took over. Missions with a story to tell. Now I feel I'm part of something bigger. Allies counting on me to fly well. Now one mission turns into two. It's midnight and we're still rolling dice. Just a few more XP, please. I know that we can handle those ties. 'Cause I'm addicted to XWing. It kinda snuck up on me. I'd worry about what my friends would think, but they play almost as much as me. Yeah, we're addicted to XWing, and I'm proud to say I was pointing out the models of Imperial ships, watching Empire Strikes Back yesterday. Now I build all of my own squads, considering seriously whether I want pilots that boost attack or improve my agility. How many missions more will I face? How long till my wallet runs dry? I'm running out of space in my plano boxes, but there's a new wave out I need to try. 'Cause I'm addicted to XWing. It kinda snuck up on me. I'd worry about what my friends would think, but they play almost as much as me. Yeah, we're addicted to XWing. I dream about it each night. Bring on your TIE bombers and your phantoms too. I'm always ready for a good fight. 'Cause I'm addicted to XWing, and I'm proud to say I was pointing out the models of Imperial ships, watching Empire Strikes Back yesterday. 'Cause I'm addicted to XWing. It kinda stuck up on me. I'd worry about what my friends would think, but they play almost as much as me. Yeah, they play almost as much as me. Okay, they don't play quite as much as me. So everything in that song is spot on truth about my experience, including the watching Empire Strikes Back and pointing out the different models of ships. Like, oh, that's this, that's that. And my husband is so proud when I get super nerdy. And I did have dreams about phantoms and TIE bombers, which was a little weird, but you play a game enough and it intervenes into every sector of your life. So that one, XWing, is off of my Sky Full of Phoenix album, and a couple of the other ones that I have done so far today are off the Sugar and Spice and Dinosaurs. Those are your best bets if you're looking for sort of the geeky stuff. There's always a mix of geeky and serious on those albums. And you can find those on my website at singinglark.com. There's a music page there where you can stream everything for free or you can download it. It's going to take you to Bandcamp, but you can find it right on my website. You can also join my email list. There's a big purple box that says email, and that will give you 7 free songs, one off of each of the albums that I have released from a studio album. So nice little mix there. All right, the next one that I want to do for you is a song about knitting. And this was inspired by a performing at MarsCon one year because I noticed a lot of people doing their crafting in the audience while they attended concerts. So a lot of knitting and crocheting and things like that happening in the audience. And I thought that was great because I am also someone who likes to go listen to concerts but feel like my hands want to be doing something. And so if I'm not performing, I love the idea of having my knitting with me, which I have done since then. But I wrote this song because it was inspired at that time. And this is a dialogue between two people. One of them is learning how to knit, one of them is teaching how to knit. when you see me looking down, I'm figuring out which effects I want on my pedal. So it's fairly new for me, so I'm getting used to all the different options I have. Knit and purl, knit and purl. It's as easy as knit and purl. Just knit and purl, knit and purl. You can make anything in the world if you learn to knit and purl. But what about the increase and the decrease and the slip, knit, pass, slip, stitch over? Knit and purl, knit and purl. It's as easy as knit and purl. Just knit and purl, knit and purl. The socks, the sweaters, and the scarves unfurl if you learn to knit and purl. But what about the increase and the decrease and the slip, knit, pass, slip, stitch over? Yeah, what about the increase and the decrease? And what the heck is intarsia? Knit and purl, knit and purl. Pick up your needles and give it a whirl. Just knit and purl, knit and purl. Don't be such an ungrateful churl. Be quiet, now knit and purl. But what about the increase and the decrease and the slip, knit, pass, slip, stitch over? Yeah, what about the I-cord and cable needles and the fair Isle Christmas reindeer? I'll throw my needles in, it's just a bit too much. Now I've got way more yarn and I've got self-control. I'll throw my needles in, it's just a bit too much now. It started out simple, then I went down the Ravelry hole. Purl and knit, purl and knit. There's no reason for you to quit. Just purl and knit, purl and knit. You're acting like a real piece of... Shut up, just purl and knit. All right, I'm going to switch over to ukulele for a couple songs. Give me just a minute to do that. I spy with my little eye the first pun in the comments. Yay! Now I feel like I'm truly part of a Filk show. That's right, people in the audience. Give me some comments. Show me you're out there. It's very weird to be performing all of these concerts. I've been doing at least a couple a week, a lot of informal concerts on my pages, as well as being part of festivals and conventions and things like that. It's very weird to just constantly be playing to your own face and just be, staring at the computer screen and making sure that you're pictured where you want in the frame and not seeing anyone. So comments are the only way that I know I have an audience. Thank you. All right. So this is Reggie. You can go with Sir Reginald if you are on a formal basis with him, but Reggie is usually good. And his big sister, Rhea, there always gets irritated because I don't introduce her. All right, so I'm going to start off with a song. I think you'll probably recognize the underlying melody. This is a Taylor Swift song. And while I like Taylor Swift and her music, I am not exactly like her. You might have guessed by now. And one thing that is a strong part of my life is being very type A. And I like to make lists, a lot of lists. Sometimes I put the same task on multiple lists just for the joy of being able to say that I have done it more than once. So if anybody else out there is like that, then this song is going out to you. Personality type A, I do things my own way, and I think that's okay. I think that's okay. You'll never see me late, can't stand too slow a pace, and I think that's okay. I think that's okay. I never sleeping, can't seem to stop thinking, even if I feel I'm sinking. If it says to do, baby, I'm gonna see it through. Now the house is quite a wreck. But if you give me a sec, I'm just gonna check it off, I check it off. And now I've gathered all the specs. Got jobs up to my neck. I'm just gonna check them off, I check them off, I'll check them off, I'll check them off. I add things one by one, I like to get them done. For me it's kind of fun, for me it's kind of fun. When the list is extra long, I'll be feeling extra strong. So you can bring it on, you can bring it on. I never sleeping, can't seem to stop thinking, even if I feel I'm sinking. If it says to do, baby, I'm gonna see it through. Now the house is quite a wreck. But if you give me a sec, I'm just gonna check it off, I'll check it off. And now I've gathered all the specs. Got jobs up to my neck. I'm just gonna check them off, I check them off, I'll check them off, I'll check them off, I'll check them off, I'll check them off. This next one, I think, is the first song that I wrote for the uke. This is about, we have a big whiteboard in our dining room that we put up reminders and things like that. And we had some T-Rexes, little cartoon T-Rexes that we had cut out and put magnets on and put them on the whiteboard. And my husband used to have little conversations going on between them. He would draw little cartoons with the T-Rexes. And then I noticed at one point, I was like, they haven't said anything in a while. The T-Rexes have been very quiet. And so I wrote a song exploring why that might be. There's a T-Rex on my whiteboard who's been quiet lately. He used to have so much to say. There's a T-Rex on my whiteboard who's been quiet lately. I wonder what chased his voice away. T-Rex, are you listening? 'Cause I've been listening for you. T-Rex, are you lonely? Are you bored or angry or blue? I'm not sure if the T-Rex lives off childish wonder. Have we become too serious for him? If we made more time for games and laughter, would we be inspired to join in? T-Rex, are you listening? 'Cause I've been listening for you. T-Rex, are you hungry? Do you just need something to chew? There's a T-Rex T-Rex on my whiteboard who's been quiet lately. He used to have so much to say. There's a T-Rex on my whiteboard who's been quiet lately. I wonder what chased his voice away. T-Rex, are you listening? Why don't you come out to play? T-Rex, if I know you, you've got a lot more to say. Yes, you've got a lot more to say. I'll be listening. So my husband and I got married just about 3 years ago. Our anniversary is coming up in 11 days. And I was looking online. We have this history of sort of T-Rexes being a fun and romantic thing for us. I think it started with this cartoon where there's two T-Rexes, with their tiny little arms, and they're standing near each other, and one of them reaches out his tiny little arms and says, "I love you this much." And the other one's like, "That's not very much." And it started there, and then we went down the rabbit hole. So I was on Etsy looking for, I think, maybe like a T-Rex wedding cake topper or something along those lines. And then I stumbled on these wedding rings. And at the time, we weren't even sure that we wanted to get wedding rings. We were debating about whether that was really our thing or not. Thank you. And then I saw these. I was like, "Aaron, get in here." He's like, "What?" I was like, "You have to see these." So you can't really see the detail on this, but they are a band there's a band of T-Rex bone and there's a band of meteorite in the ring. So those were the super nerdy rings that we opted for. And it's worked out quite well since then. So same husband that I mentioned earlier that I played D&D with back in high school, and we were friends for about 20 years before we started dating. Not sure I'm going to get to that song tonight, but if you look up Home, which is on my little EP initiative, Home tells the story of us getting together. I've got one more for you on uke before I switch back to guitar. So I think you will particularly appreciate this song if you are a Pete Seeger fan, or a Weeds fan, or a fan of equal rights for everyone. This is called Lady Pockets. Lady Pockets, nothing will fit, made to look cute, not to hold your loot. Lady Pockets, pretty useless. Lady Pockets, they're a scam. Functionality, not for us, you see. It was stolen by the patriarchy, just a little thing, just one more thing that's controlled by man. Gender pay gap, quite a handicap. Getting paid less for your femaleness. Gender pay gap, that's some bull crap. Gender pay gap, it's a plan. This disparity, just for us, you see. It's a gift from the patriarchy, just a little thing, just one more thing in this world controlled by man. Education, we're behind again, rarely pushed to the STEMs in school. Education for young women, education, yes we can. University, math and chemistry, don't give in to the patriarchy, just a little thing, just one more thing that we'll take back from man. Reproductive rights, they can't win this fight. It's our bodies, we'll do as we please. Can't control us because you fear us, and we're ready to take a stand. We'll have children when we want to, or not. It's not up to you. Just a little thing, just one more thing that's impossible for man. Just a little thing, just one more thing that's impossible for man. All right, with that, I'm going to switch back over to the guitar. It's interesting, I didn't used to write much in the way of political songs, and lately I guess I've just been feeling the need, so I definitely still do my fair share of nerdy stuff and fantasy stuff, but some political stuff works its way into the mix now. The best way to hear the songs that I have not recorded yet that are on the albums is to check out my Patreon, which is patreon.com/Rhiannon's Lark. And you do not have to be a paid member in order to view most of the songs on there. So all of the unreleased stuff that I've been putting out over the last several years, you can find on there if you're interested in that. Right, I've got time for 2 or 3 more. Let's see. I think we need to get Tiny Kraken in the mix. For those of you who have not heard me before, Tiny Kraken is one of my hallmark pieces, I think. And I will show you one of my Tiny Krakens. This is a little demon/can Tiny Kraken, but I have them in many colors. Tiny Kraken, you are so adorable, makes me want to sigh and coo. Baby Kraken, safe under the water, how could anyone fear you? Little Kraken, exploring your tide pool, your first teeth have just come in. Toddler Kraken, wondering how the world works, you're just learning how to swim. Oh, but the world makes assumptions. When you've got a big head and tentacles. If you're not the hero, then you must be the villain. And you're just not quite hero stuff. Gangly Kraken, awkward with the other fish, fitting in his heart to do. Adolescent Kraken, dragging quite a stench around, everyone makes fun of you. Oh, when the world makes assumptions. Oh, but the world makes assumptions. When you've got a big head and tentacles. If you're not the hero, then you must be the villain. And you're just not quite hero stuff. Full-grown Kraken, now it's time to prove yourself. You know what they all expect. Adults Kraken, chaos follows in your wake. Men and ships alike are wrecked. Oh, when the world makes assumptions. get. You couldn't be the hero, and so you'll be the villain. You'll be the greatest villain yet. Decades of despair all across the seas, 20,000 leagues saw the Lord of the Rings. Stout men's hearts will slacken when they hear, release the Kraken! You'll be the greatest villain yet. Overweight Kraken, lounging in the watery depths, reflecting on your reign of terror. Geriatric Kraken, ready for your quiet years, put to rest the world's great error. Oh, and the world makes assumptions. You know they deserve what they get. You couldn't be the hero, and so you were the villain. You were the greatest villain yet. All right. So I'm probably just going to do one more at this point. We'll see. If I do a second one, it might just be a quick little cover about foxes because I got my fox gear on right now. So again, you can find all of my stuff going on over at singinglark.com. You can stream the music for free there. You can download songs. You can see my upcoming show schedule all online. You can sign up for the email list and get updates when I know that I'm going to be doing shows and things of that nature. I am a full-time musician, normally. When I'm not performing at conventions and festivals, I perform at assisted living facilities doing 50s and 60s. So you'll find some folk rock albums on my page as well. And obviously that's not happening right now because all of these are high-risk scenarios. So I've had 60, 70 shows or so canceled this year so far. So it's been a little tough. So if you're able to throw something in the tip jar, that's great. But I know that a lot of people are dealing with a lot of difficulties right now. So I would much rather have you stream my music for free than not stream it at all. So feel free to check that out and listen to whatever you like. And all right, I'm going to do another song about D&D. You might recognize the underlying melody on this one as well. It's an Andy Grammer song. I haven't broken this one out in a while, so we're going to see if it is flowing smoothly. Nah, GM, I'm good. I could play another, but I probably should not. I've got somebody at home. It's been a night of trials, a night of glory. You're quite creative with your NPCs. I admit I'd love to go another round, but forgiveness might be hard to be found. Gotta be like, oh buddy, no buddy, not one more roll buddy. I've got another place to get lucky tonight. So nah, GM, I'm good. I could play another, but I probably should not. I've got somebody at home. If I stay, I might wind up alone. No, GM, I'm good. I could play another, but I probably should not. Gotta pack up my dice, grab my guide, and say goodnight. Say goodnight. Say goodnight. We've gotten past where many have failed, questing for that holy grail. Yeah, it's right, but I've got him, and he's got me, and your big bad's got great armor class, but please gotta be like, oh buddy, no buddy, not one more roll, buddy. I've got another place to get lucky tonight. So nah, GM, I'm good. I could play another, but I probably should not. I've got somebody at home. If I stay, I might wind up alone. No, GM, I'm good. I could play another, but I probably should not. Gotta pack up my dice, grab my guide, and say goodnight. Say goodnight. Say goodnight. All right, just one more roll for initiative to get up and go. Nah, GM, I'm good. I could play another, but I probably should not. I've got somebody at home. If I stay, I might wind up alone. No, GM, I'm good. I could play another, but I probably should not. Gotta pack up my dice, grab my guide, and say goodnight. Say goodnight. Say goodnight. Say goodnight. Say goodnight. All right, so I think that's going to be it for me tonight. And I realized two things. I don't typically end with that song because hitting the high notes at the end of the show is a little rougher than hitting them somewhere in the middle. But also that it's a good last song because it's Say Goodnight, Gracie. So again, thank you guys for coming out and joining me for a little bit of music tonight. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your weekend and that things continue to go well for all of you.
Thank you so much for coming out. And also, thank you again to Rhiannon's Lark. I hope to see you guys next week with our next show, which keep an eye out on our feeds for that Facebook event. And don't forget, as always, remember to wear your masks. Thank you.